If you saw any of this week's shorts about conscious spending, automated money, or why budgets fail, this is the full breakdown. Everything we touched on this week comes together right here. Welcome to W&M Insights, where we talk about money, mindset, and growth. Ramit Sethi wrote a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And here's the question: can a book with that title actually deliver on its promise? Most people hear that title and think, scam, another guru selling dreams, another get-rich-quick idea. But here's what they miss. This book is not about getting rich overnight. It is not about gambling. It is not about chasing quick money. It is about building a system, a money system so simple, so automatic, and so repeatable that building wealth becomes easier to stick with. Not because you suddenly become more disciplined, but because the system does most of the work for you. Today, we break down the money system from I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why most people don't need more money advice. They need a better system. Rule 1. Pay yourself first. Before you pay your rent, before you pay your bills, before you pay subscriptions, before you pay anyone else, pay yourself first. This is one of the oldest rules of wealth, and still almost nobody follows it. Most people earn money and immediately spend it. Bills, lifestyle, food, transport, wants. And at the end of the month, there is nothing left. Then they tell themselves, I'll save next month. But next month comes, and the same thing happens again. That is not a saving plan. That is hoping. The wealthy do it differently. The moment income arrives, a portion goes directly to savings and investments. Automatically. Before they touch a single dollar. Before emotions get involved. Before temptation shows up. This is powerful because it removes the need to decide every month. You don't wait to see what is left. You decide first what your future deserves. You don't become wealthy by what you spend. You become wealthy by what you keep. And if you keep nothing, you build nothing. So the first rule is simple. Pay yourself first. Always. Rule 2. Stop budgeting. Start allocating. This sounds strange because most people think budgeting is the answer. But the problem with most budgets is that they are built around restriction. They tell you what you can't have. Don't spend here. Cut this. Reduce that. Feel guilty about everything. And human nature fights that every single month. That is why many people start a budget, then abandon it after a few weeks. Ramit Sethi teaches a better approach, a conscious spending plan. Instead of tracking every tiny expense with guilt, you divide your money into clear categories. Fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending. Fixed costs are your essentials. Rent, bills, food, transport, the things you need to live. Investments are for your future wealth. Savings are for short-term goals and emergencies. And guilt-free spending is money you are allowed to enjoy. Yes, guilt-free, because you already planned for it. That is the difference. A budget says, don't spend. A conscious spending plan says, spend here and enjoy it. One restricts you. The other gives you control. Same money, different mindset. The goal is not to suffer. The goal is to spend intentionally. Cut hard on things you don't care about, so you can spend freely on things you truly value. That is how money becomes a tool, not a source of constant guilt. Rule 3. Automate your entire money flow. This is where the system becomes powerful. Willpower fails. Motivation fades. Discipline comes and goes. But an automatic transfer at 9 a.m. on payday? That does not forget. That does not get tired. That does not get emotional. Automation is the engine of the system. Here's how it works. Your paycheck arrives, then your money automatically moves into the right places. A portion goes into investments, a portion goes into savings, bills are paid, fixed costs are handled, and whatever remains in your spending account is yours to enjoy. No guilt, No confusion, no guessing. This is powerful because you stop relying on your mood. You stop asking, should I save this month? Should I invest this month? Can I afford this? The system answers before you even think about it. The truth is simple. You don't need more discipline. You need a better system, because once the system runs, it can keep running in the background. Your money moves, your savings grow, your investments build, and your life becomes simpler. That is the power of automation. Rule 4. The latte factor is a distraction. You've probably heard this advice before. Stop buying coffee. Skip the avocado toast. Cancel Netflix. Cut every small pleasure. And yes, unnecessary spending exists. But cutting small things alone will not make most people wealthy. Saving $5 here and there can help, but it is not the main thing that changes your financial life. The real power is in the big wins. Negotiating your salary. Choosing the right investment accounts. Avoiding high-interest debt. Cutting subscriptions you forgot about. Automating savings. Investing early. These decisions move the needle. The problem with obsessing over small cuts is that it makes money feel like punishment. It makes you feel like becoming wealthy means removing every joy from your life. But that is not the point. The point is not to suffer. The point is to be intentional. Spend on what matters. Cut what doesn't. If coffee brings you joy and your system is already working, drink the coffee. But if you are wasting money on things you do not care about, cut those first. The truth is simple. Focus on the big wins. Automate the rest. And stop letting small expenses distract you from the bigger picture. Rule 5. Invest early, even if it's small. Most people wait too long to start investing. They wait for a higher salary. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they understand everything. They wait until life becomes easier. But here's the truth. The perfect moment does not exist. And time is the most powerful force in wealth building. A small amount invested early can become more powerful than a larger amount invested late. Not because the money is different, but because time compounds. When your money earns returns and those returns earn more returns, growth begins to build on itself. That is why starting early matters. Start with $50 a month. Start with $100. Start with what you can. The amount matters less than the habit. Because once the habit is built, you can increase it over time. While others wait for the perfect moment, the disciplined investor starts small and lets time do the heavy lifting. The truth is simple. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You start investing so you can build wealth over time. Rule 6. Use credit cards strategically. Credit cards are not automatically bad, but they are dangerous when used without discipline. Most people fall into one of two traps. They either fear credit cards completely or they misuse them and drown in debt. Ramit Sethi presents a third way. Use credit cards strategically. Pay them off in full every month. Never carry a balance. Never use them to buy things you cannot afford. And use rewards only on spending you were already going to do. A credit card is a tool. In the wrong hands, it destroys. In the right hands, it can protect you, build your credit, and reward you for spending you already planned. But the key is this: the system must come first. If you cannot pay it in full, don't put it on the card. If the card makes you spend more, don't use it. If the rewards make you justify bad decisions, you are not winning. The difference is not the card. The difference is the system behind it. Used wisely, credit can be a tool. Used carelessly, it becomes a trap. Rule 7. Build the system once, then let it run. This is where most people fail. They read a book. They feel motivated. They set up one transfer. Then they forget. Or they check their investments every day, panic when the market drops, and start making emotional decisions. But the whole point of this system is that it works without constant attention. Your money moves automatically. Your investments grow quietly. Your savings build in the background. Your bills get paid. Your spending money is clear. You don't need to manage every detail every day. You just need to set up the system and trust it. While others chase trends, panic over headlines, and jump from one money tip to another, the disciplined person lets the system work. Quietly, consistently, month after month. That is how real financial progress is built. Not from one big decision, but from a system that keeps making good decisions for you. So here's the full picture. Pay yourself first. Replace budgeting with a conscious spending plan. Automate your money flow. Focus on big wins, not small cuts. Invest early, even if it is small. Use credit strategically. And then, let the system run. 7 rules. 1 system. And the powerful thing is this: you do not need to be perfect. You do not need to track every CD. You do not need to feel guilty every time you spend. You need a system that works before you even think about it. The truth is simple. Wealth is not about intelligence. It is not about luck. It is not about chasing every new financial trend. It is about building a system that works and having the discipline to let it work. From I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, the message is clear. Money should not control your life. You should build a system so your money supports the life you actually want. If you found this valuable, subscribe to W&M Insights and continue growing with us. Next Sunday, we break down another powerful book, so you don't want to miss it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.